gracious God, I've been looking for you everywhere. I swear, if I have to shake hands with one more grinning buffoon of a prince or viscount or great giggles, I don't know who else, I am going to chop my own hand off and feed it to them like the pack of spoiled dogs they are. I know I'm wearing gloves. That's not the point. You can still feel all their warmth through a single layer of silk gloves. Still feel their sweat. It's disgusting. And all that smiling, like I am cursed not to express joy. Not necessarily never feel it within my entire lifetime, but those toothy maws make me wish I was just so I could understand the point of it all. I mean, it's all an act! Is Prince Harrington Fox of the southeastern Seville regions really so excited to tell me he's wasting half his gaudy riches on a ball gown made entirely out of pearls just so he has the slightest sliver of a chance to be spared a dance with me? Is Duke Davut of the Ruskian Mountains not using that grin to hide his grimace at the fact that his mother's wedding ring was melted down into a pair of earrings just on the off chance I'll express enough compassion to wed him in exchange? Why can't we treat this like the business transaction it is? I don't see the general being told to squint so his smile looks more genuine. Why should I have to pretend? Besides, business transactions are at least somewhat negotiated beforehand. I'm sure Duke Davut just loves the fact that the only memory he has left of his dear and departed is going to end up tossed in the royal treasury next to every bit and bauble on the slab tonight that I never wanted or asked for. Or maybe Duke Davut does in fact just love the idea of making me all squeamish at the thought of something implied to be so precious to him, and him alone, being tossed away like a pebble in the river, and it'll get to me. Maybe he just wants to get to me. Maybe that's all anybody here wants. To get to me, to get to me, to get to me. I have to think that way. It is the only way I can survive. Business is business and love is love. If one part of the equation can't be indulged, they'll look to feed the other. I'm beautiful, of course, but I'm not visibly pleasant. They have to know that. Well, of course, it's all a business transaction. The strategy here is that for a single one of them, I'll be so impressed of what they're willing to offer in order to gain my favor that I'll, in exchange, be willing to court. Court with the intent of marriage. Ugh. I should have known that the minute I took power as the sole empress that they'd be looking for any way imaginable to flip their topsy-turvy world back to the right side up part of things. And frankly, sometimes you just don't want to be forced to think about that. To be reminded of the fact that even though I've ascended to the most powerful position in all the land, it has not subverted my ability to be bought and sold as nothing more than legal tender my old man still gets to profit from. On my birthday of all days. I mean, when you're 4, a birthday as a child of the Emperor means getting a cake 3 times as big as you, and being able to eat that every day until you turn 5, and and receiving the most beautiful collection of glass dolls I've ever seen. They might as well have been spun with nothing more than a rainbow of sugar in a dream. Bless it all. But now, when you're my age, and 1 year older, all you can be reminded of is how easily you were bought, and how easily everyone thinks you can be bought now. It's why you're here now. I know dragging you off into a closet somewhere beguiles some, unsavory implications, and naturally if you're found with me, you're dead, but it's nice to be around someone who, frankly, doesn't think so little of me. Or who couldn't even buy me if they wanted to. The worst part about all of this really, is that they could totally buy me out there if they knew my price. They just think that all that's written there is a number that goes up, up, up. How expensive is it? How much there is of it? How many people want it? How much do they want it? But they don't even know my stupid heart is just so much more sensitive than that. Sentimental than that. I should be more grateful that they don't. If they knew what I could be bought and sold with, I would sooner die than be bound to them in chain. Oh, what is it? Did I talk for too long once again? Because hearing I'm long-winded from the generals is bad enough, but from you to— Oh. You have a gift for me. Well, isn't that sweet? You know you didn't have to get me anything. I mean, here I am complaining to you about how much I got when I don't even know your birthday, and well, okay, but be careful. Oh, my smiling God, it's you! It's a little you! Oh, the little bells jingle! Oh, and look at your face, all porcelain and sweet. It looks just like the real thing. How did you know I love dolls? I've never told anyone. Ever. Ever. The only person who could know anymore is my father, and he shattered those glass dolls. He shattered those glass dolls so long ago. He broke each and every one of them after he told me to accept my role, when I could no longer be the lovable, empty-headed daddy's girl of a daughter, and had to grow up with the smart and shrewd heart of a son. And now I'm being punished for the rest of my life for that. For being every which way a girl could be wrong. My father was not always the doddering old fool who wanted to be sent out with nothing more than a grin. To want something like that to begin with, I think you need to know that under any other circumstance you would not be forgiven. It's porcelain. It's not as delicate as glass, never as beautiful either, but it's hardier. When glass breaks, it shatters. It can never be undone. The mere sin of its own unwinding is unforgivable. But porcelain, when porcelain shatters, the pieces are frequently big and clumsy as often as they are small and brittle. It'll never be the same, but the sands of time can be wound back. It can never be the same, but It's a blessing to never live the same way twice. When you come to think,